Hey guys, this is Peter, the Warner Brothers Universal and Paramount fan 2002 here, and as what I said in my Adventure Time review, I will be doing a review on its sequel, which is an original series on Max. Today, I will be doing review on the 2023 Max original series, and this one is Adventure Time, Fionna and Cake. This is the second Adventure Time sequel that came out 3 years later after Adventure Time, Distant Lands, which was run for only 1 year, and got cancelled in 2021. Speaking about Adventure Time, Fionna and Cake, same as Adventure Time, Distant Lands. This is a Cartoon Network series that is exclusively available to stream on Max. It is based on the original Adventure Time show by Pendleton Ward. Adventure Time, Fionna and Cake is currently on Cartoon Network, and currently streaming on Max, originally known as HBO Max. This series follows Finn and Jake's gender-swapped counterpart, Fionna the human and Cake the cat. The series also features Simon Petrikov, a character who for most of the original series had been well known as the Ice King. Fionna lives with her cat, Cake, in an alternate reality without magic, spending her days cycling through dead-end jobs at night. She dreams of a magical world that appears to be forever unreachable. Simon, in the land of Olam, works from home as a living exhibit of a bygone era, facing agonies of the lost in life just like Fionna. Later, the trio travel throughout the multiverse, while also being chased by a new antagonist attempting to erase them from existence. The writing is just as great as it was in the original series and Distant Lands, as it captures the franchise's spirit and tone wonderfully with its humor, sense of adventure, suspense, drama, heart, and charm. It also still has a fair amount of action and emotion, does a great job of expanding the world building, and while it can be lighthearted and fun, it also still makes room for some more dark and serious moments. Also, this series tends to be both more raunchy and more intense than its predecessors because of this series being aimed at older viewers. The action scenes are still very exciting and intense, such as Finn and Simon encountering several beasts on their quest, the various instances of Saerom chasing down Fionna and Cake across the multiverse, Simon's confrontation with both the Winter King and the Candy Queen, and the final confrontation against Galb. The show manages to have the same level of heart and drama that the two previous shows had, and this does lead to some pretty tender and emotional moments, like the relationships and bonds between the characters, Simon coming to terms with his past as the Ice King, and some of the outcomes to some characters in other universes. The series still manages to have the same solid sense of humor that the original show had, such as the witty banter and dialogue between the characters, and some of the gags. Also, since this is a more adult-focused show, the humor is allowed to be more raunchy and off-color. The animation still has its iconic look and looks even better than ever. The characters all still have their solid and recognizable designs and fluid movements. The backgrounds are still very well crafted, and there are still some pretty solid effects. The characters are all still quite likable as they were in the other shows, as they not only still have some nice chemistry, dynamics, and development, but it's also neat to see more to some of them, such as Fionna being a very likable and spunky protagonist who yearns for adventure in her mundane life and winds up getting that, Cake being likably sassy, Simon who's still quite likable and does have an engaging arc, Gary who's very level-headed and kind-hearted, Marshall who's very laid-back and carefree, Finn who only makes a couple of appearances here but is still quite adventurous and young at heart, as is his Farmwood counterpart, Prismo being very omnipresent and a bit helpful, and several of the other characters are also quite solid, like Bubblegum, Marceline, BMO, Jay, Bonnie, Winter King, the Lich, and more. As for this show's set of villains, they are quite formidable, menacing, and do prove themselves to be a challenge for our heroes, such as the relentless Scarab, the ruthless Galb, the insane Candy Queen, and more. The voice acting is just as solid as it was in the other shows and does result in some very well done performances, such as Madeline Martin as Fionna, Roz Ryan as Cake, Tom Kenny as Simon, Andrew Rannells as Gary, Donald Glover as Marshall, Sean Rawney as Prismo, Kaylee McKee as Scarab, Jeremy Shada as Finn, and more. The music is still pretty solid and well composed, and like before, it really captures the show's lighthearted, comedic, intriguing, and dramatic tone. Also, this series also has some very well written and soothing songs. It has been announced that Warner Bros. Discovery, Max, Cartoon Network Studios, and Frederator Studios will be renewing the show for season 2, which hopefully it will not be the same thing as Velma. And what is my verdict on this Max original series? I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Pretty great sequel of Adventure Time.